And to be honest with you, I don't give my students info out. Because they trusted me with it, and why should I be giving it out? You follow me? And the other thing is, the only thing I do have is their email address. I don't even keep their phone numbers. There's an old, that's a kit, by the way. Old cap. I don't know why I keep it around. Well, I know why I keep it around. That belongs to John Mason. John Mason was my first lieutenant. He was my second lieutenant, and he was my first lieutenant for a while with the fire police. And he was also a brother at the lodge, but he had passed away. And apparently he must have told his bride, his wife, something were to happen to him to get a hold of me about the guns, so she did. And that was one of his. And she knew that it wasn't valuable, it was just a kit. He liked it, so he had it. So anyway, to make a long story short, I think I told you the story. He had a shotgun that was handed down from his grandfather to his father to him. And he was 80-something when he passed away, about 3 years ago. Maybe, yeah, about 3 years ago. And the wife called me and says, you know, what do I do with it? You know, like, well, you know, you can either sell it to a store or give it to a store for consignment. You know, he says, well, do you want it? I said, I'd like to have it, yes, but, you know, I want to make sure that you get your deal on it, you know, because, again, you know, if they entrusted me to look after this thing, you know, I want to make sure that, you know, I do it right. Another light. This was the inside of a headlight, a seal beam. So, what did I do with the other light? Oh, I put it over here. So, I took the firearm, the shotgun, which is old, but this thing is in great shape. I mean, it just, if you don't know shotguns, you're not going to know when I say how smooth it is, and it's just a good gun. It's got wear on it, but not abuse. You know, it's just a nice gun. So anyway, I said, let me take it. And I signed off that I took it at a certain time and date, because at that point I have possession of it. And she signed it and I signed it. She got a copy and I got a copy. So it shows that she had turned it over to me, you know, the possession, and that I have it. So, for instance, if it got stolen and somebody shot somebody with it, you know, she's free and clear. So, but anyway, I took it to a gun shop, and I didn't care for this gun shop. I've been in there twice, I think, since they've been open. There's very few gun shops, the small mom and pop ones, that I can actually say that I trust. I just soon go to a bigger, like for instance, yeah, Hoffman's. Hoffman's has been around for a long, long time. You're not going to get a super deal, but you're not going to pay full price or full list or inflated list. You know, they've been there a long time because they do it right. You know, and they have people there that know what they're doing, and that's all there is to it. Sometimes they're a little rush, like almost like a rude, but you know, they're going crazy. They got lines out the door. You know, and if it's non-stop like that, sometimes you get tired, you know, especially of the same questions over and over and over again. You know, so you kind of think about that. But they're good. So anyway, I take it to this other place, which is over here in North Branford. And I'm showing it to him, and he's looking at it, and he's looking at the numbers, and they got real low numbers on it. He's, you know, racking it, checking it, looking at, you know, it's in nice shape. Yeah, well, this is a nice gun. You know, and everybody that was in there, because it's a little mom pop type store, you know, everybody kind of hangs out. And they're also, oh, that's a nice piece. I'd like to have that. Yeah, so okay. And then Arnie comes up and says, it's probably 350 bucks or so. You know, well, if I put it on consignment, you know, I'll take 100. And so she'll see, you know, anywhere between 175 and 250 and blah, 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 blah. Well, I didn't really care for that answer. And his wife, this guy's wife, she is a rude individual, really. I don't think he can stand her. But at that point, you know, when she comes in, when she's there, if you come in, and regardless of who goes in there, you know, she'll go in the back. Then she'll kind of come out and listen a little bit until somebody else comes in. Then she goes in the back, you know, and then you know, she'll sit there, and if you lean on the case, she looks at you, and like, what are you doing leaning on my case? I just cleaned that case. You know, I mean, she's just a real bitch. You know, and everybody that goes in there notices it. So anyway, I went back and I told her, this is what he had said. She says, well, do you want it? I said, well, I'd like to have it. She said, why don't you just take it? I said, I can't do that to you. I said, I'll tell you what. He said that the least that you should see is 175. I'll give you the 175. She says, fine, take it. So I bought it. And that's with that. She threw that in. A few other things, but, you know, I mean, she knew that that was basically, you know, hang on the wall, you know, replica, you know, kit. So, all right, anyway, I'm waiting for this to do its wee thing. Oh, there it is, okay. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, Nick! Well, now it seems to be doing something. What was that all about? Well, that's doing that. Hold on a minute. Here, I get a piece of wood. There, most of it. I have a little pieces in here, but I put most of it out there. So I got to go out there. What's this say now? Your password is incorrect. Ah, fuck. All right, hold on, guys. Yeah? She was just telling me that Kirstie Alley died. 71, died of cancer. For some reason today has been an awful lot of telemarketer spam calls. Oh, I'll tell you why. Well, I didn't tell you this, did I? I called up AT&T because I wanted to change the caller ID on the phone. So when you know, if I were to call you, it would show up as whatever I wanted to show up. And I get this guy on the phone, and I can just about hear what he's saying because there's so much noise in the background. Really. You know, like, you can tell that he's in a room with 100 other people, you know, with his little cubicle, but yet it's all open. So the cubicle is really not blocking him from the sound if he's sitting back in his chair. You know, if he sits up into it, it may help. However, it was from India, and I'm trying to explain to him what I want to do, and he says, well, I can do that, I can do that. I said, no, 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 no. Just tell me how to do it. I want to do it. Oh. Now, he says, well, wait a minute. So as I'm hearing all this other chatter going on in the background, I hear somebody say to whoever they were talking to, I don't know if they were on the phone, if they were talking with somebody next to him, but how he was trying to sell him a deal on something. And had nothing to do with AT&T. So I'm thinking to myself, it almost sounded like, you know, a scammer, you know, trying to sell, you know, or give you $2 million or something, you know, one of those things, you know, or today only, you know, we can save you, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, this is what we're dealing with. You know, first of all, you can tell it's a massive center because you hear everybody in the background. You know, it sounded like I was at a party, you know. And then when he tells me to hold on a minute, you hear this. He's trying to look up something. I'm hearing the guy